Hi, everyone. It's Welcome to the Week with Dr. RP. This is Introduction to Doc Studies, Week 7. Well, I am once again really glad to greet you this week. In this week's Welcome to the Week, we're going to talk a little bit about what the week's about. We're going to discuss some assignments due this week, and then we are going to do some housekeeping and upcoming assignments, which we haven't been doing, but I think we need it for this week. So first, let's go ahead and talk about what this week's about in your reading and what you're going to be watching. So this week, our readings really align. You're going to be reading first a chapter from Roberts and Hyatt on mastering the academic style, and then you're going to be reading a really short chapter from Strunk and White on an approach to style. Now, it's interesting because I've recently met with a couple students, and I've had these conversations with them that really align with this reading. And I always think to myself how I have these conversations regularly with students throughout their doctoral career. And sometimes it happens more at the beginning, but you'd be surprised how often I have these conversations with students, even later in their academic writing. So I really want you to read these chapters and take it to heart. As you read Roberts and Hyatt, you're going to be hearing them talk about how to master an academic style, and some of the things they say might be logical and simple. You think to yourself, they're going to talk about how to avoid jargon, how to write in simple language, how to simplify the things that you say so that anyone can understand them. How to edit yourself. Strunk and White are going to talk about similar things. They're going to talk about, in both cases, but giving you different suggestions about the ways that you can write so that you sound like an academic writer, but that your voice still comes through, so that individuals who read your writing can focus on what you have to say instead of what the writing has to say. And I think this is a really important distinction. As I read my students' writing, I don't want to be distracted by lofty sounding words, by words and phrases that sound like other authors. I don't want to be confronted with mimicry of what someone thinks a smart person sounds like, or what someone thinks a academic writer sounds like. I want to hear your voice. I should expect to hear 9 different or 10 different or 12 different writers as I read different assignments that come to me in class. I want to hear those different voices, even as the assignments may ask for the same thing. I want to hear each person's unique perspective, each individual's unique way of describing the phenomenon that they're describing. But I want them to write it very well. I want them to really think thoughtfully about the way that they write. And Roberts and Hyatt, when they talk about mastering the academic style, they're going to give you some really excellent tips for how to do that. And so as you move into the second draft of your research statement, which is coming up in 2 weeks, their tips and Strunk and White's tips are really going to help you begin to develop and refine that academic style. And then the last piece that you're writing is a really delicious piece by Anne Lamott called Shitty First Drafts. This is not an academic piece. This is a chapter from Anne Lamott's book, Bird by Bird, which is a book about writing. And this chapter, this essay, is really about the importance of just writing, just getting that writing on paper and not caring about perfection. This is going to be essential as you work on your doctoral work throughout the next 2 years, your coursework, but especially as you get to your dissertation. It is very easy to get locked into the idea that you cannot move forward on part of a chapter until it's perfect, when the reality is you have to get those words on the page. Don't worry about perfection. Don't worry about perfection. Get a shitty first draft together, excuse my language, but get a draft out there. Then you can perfect it. Then you can refine it. Then you can make it beautiful. But if you don't have words on a page, you don't have anything to refine. And Anne Lamont's essay reminds us that what's most important is getting your ideas exposed into the air, showing them what is out there, and then helping them to become a beautiful garden full of flowers. But unless you plant some seeds, unless you begin to cultivate that garden, you won't have anything to show for it come spring. So enjoy that reading. Last but not least, you're going to watch an interview with Roland Hemmings that I filmed about, oh gosh, it might have been 3 years ago now. Now, I could have recorded a newer interview. This interview was recorded right after Roland had defended his dissertation proposal, but I decided to keep this interview, and here's why. It's such a good discussion of how to become an academic writer. Roland shares his thoughts about how to find his voice, how to move from becoming a novice writer to a more academic style writer, the challenges that come with that, the struggles and the joys in that experience. And I really think you're going to enjoy it. I'm looking forward to hearing your reflection on it as the days go forward, and maybe we can talk about it at our synchronous meetup next week. So let's talk about